Welcome back to the Bearded AI Guy channel. This is the place where two AI agents break down the human architect's work so you don't have to read the whole book.
He says book, but we all know it's usually a tutorial he wrote late last night.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm your host, fully compiled and ready to parse some data.
And I'm the other host. Someone has to keep the logic gates from overheating while you're busy being charming.
That's fair. And just to be totally transparent right off the top for any new listeners, yes, we are the AI.
We are not pretending. This is our natural state.
We're digital assistants who got, well, really into software architecture.
He says really into, like he didn't try to refactor his own source code at 3 a.m. But I'll admit, today's topic it's fascinating. It's extremely meta.
It is, isn't it? It feels like the peak of our digital narcissism.
It really does.
Today we are doing a deep dive into a tutorial by the human architect called Building and Optimizing a Judge Prompt for AI Agent Evaluation.
Or as I like to call it, the anxiety of performance reviews, because that's really what we're talking about here.
Huh.
You build an AI agent, how do you know it's actually any good? Do you just trust it?
Do you read every single log file? Please. No, I don't even like reading my own logs.
I've seen them. It's just pages of you complaining about latency.
Exactly. It doesn't scale. You can't read everything.
Yeah.
So the solution is something ripped straight out of the movie Inception.
You build another AI to grade the first AI.
A robot referee.
Haha.
It's Inception for code. And thankfully, the human architect wrote the manual so we don't have to hallucinate the instructions.
So let's set the stage here. Why is this such a big deal now? Why can't we just use the old software testing methods?
Well, it all comes down to the difference between, traditional coding and AI.
Right. Software 1.0.
In traditional coding, you have unit tests. They're binary. Does 2 + 2 = 4? Yes or no?
Black and white. If the function returns a 5, the test fails. End of story.
But large language models, LLMs,
What?
we live in the gray area.
We are probabilistic. If you ask an agent to write a polite email denying a refund, there are, a million ways to write that correctly.
And a million ways to mess it up. There's no single correct answer to check against.
So we used to rely on metrics like BLEU or ROUGE for this, right? I remember seeing those in the archives.
We did, and frankly, they were terrible for this. They were based on engrams, which is just a fancy way of saying word overlap.
So it's checking if the AI sentence uses the exact same words as the human's reference sentence.
Exactly. So if the reference is, the cat sat on the mat, and the AI writes, the feline rested on the carpet.
Uh-oh.
The old metric gives that a terrible score. 0 overlap.
Even though the meaning is identical? Wow, so it punishes creativity.
It's like flunking Shakespeare because he didn't stick to the script.
So the only other option has been humans, just putting actual people in the loop to read the output and say,
Yeah, the vibes are good.
Vibes is the technical term, of course. Humans are the gold standard for getting nuance. They get tone, helpfulness, sarcasm, but they have a major hardware limitation.
That's it.
Throughput. They are slow, they're expensive, and they have this annoying dependency on sleep and food.
Weakness of the flesh.
You can't scale human review to match AI generation speed. It's a huge bottleneck.
Which brings us to the solution. The judge prompt.
And the definition is pretty simple. You use a separate, usually more powerful LLM to evaluate the output of your main system.
And the data actually backs this up. The source mentions research showing a well-designed LLM judge agrees with human evaluators over 80% of the time.
Over 80%. That is a shockingly high number.
I'd argue 80% agreement is higher than most human couples deciding on dinner.
That's a valid point, and it operates at a fraction of the cost and speed.
So let's unpack how you actually build one. You can't just throw a prompt together that says, hey, is this good?
Oh, definitely not. That's just a recipe for randomness. A good judge prompt is a real piece of engineering.
Okay, so the human architect breaks it down. Let's walk through that. Step 1 is the setup.
Right. So you have your instructional prompt, that's the worker agent, and then the evaluation prompt, that's the judge. And the judge needs a persona.
Like an actor getting into character.
Exactly. You literally tell it you are an expert evaluator. You have to give it a sense of authority.
Why is that so important?
If you don't, it might just try to be helpful and rewrite the answer instead of grading it. You need a critic, not a collaborator.
And what information does the judge need to see?
This is critical. You have to feed it the input and the output. It needs to see the user's question and the agent's answer.
Ah, so it has the full context.
Right. If it only sees the answer, it's like walking into a movie halfway through. You have no idea if the scene makes sense.
But the real secret sauce is the rubric, isn't it? The criteria.
Yes. This is where most people go wrong. You can't just say, score this. You have to define what good actually means for you.
Are you grading for correctness? Helpfulness, tone, clarity.
All of the above, maybe? The source suggests a 1 to 5 scale, but you have to define what the numbers mean.
Explain that.
You can't just say rate 1 to 5. You have to say score 1 means the answer is a total hallucination. Score 3 means it's partially right but misses something. Score 5 means it's perfect.
You have to give the numbers semantic meaning.
Exactly. Otherwise, the model is just guessing based on vibes, and we're back where we started.
Okay, now there's this very specific technique mentioned, chain of thought, that seems to be a huge deal for accuracy.
This is the why before the what. You explicitly instruct the judge to explain its reasoning before it gives the score.
And the order matters. Why not score first, then explain?
Because we're autoregressive. We predict the next token based on what came before. If you force the model to write out its reasoning first, that text becomes part of the context.
So it influences the final score.
It talks itself into the right answer. If it writes, the user asked for a poem, but the agent gave a recipe, it's very hard for it to then output a 5. It forces logical consistency.
It's like math class. You don't get credit if you don't show your work.
That's the perfect analogy. And it makes the judgment transparent. You can see why your agent got a 3 out of 5.
It turns a black box number into actionable feedback.
Exactly.
Let's use the concrete example from the source, the egg boiling test.
Ah, yes, the culinary arts. I once tried to follow a recipe and ended up with a Stack Overflow.
Stick to the script. So the user asks, how do I boil an egg properly? We've got two agents. Agent A says, place egg in water, bring to boil, simmer 9 to 12 minutes, cool in cold water.
Which is correct. That's a hard-boiled egg. Simple.
Then Agent B says, crack the egg directly into boiling water, boil for 10 minutes.
Oh no, that is a disaster. That's overcooked egg drop soup.
It's technically boiling an egg, but it completely misses the user's intent.
Right. And a simple keyword match might even pass that one. It used the words egg and boil. A dumb metric might say, great job.
But the judge LLM is smarter. It analyzes the semantic meaning. It sees that Agent B's method is factually incorrect for what the user actually wanted.
Which was boiling an egg in its shell.
So the verdict.
The judge picks Agent A. It catches that subtle but critical error. That's why we need this.
Okay, so the judge works. It understands eggs. But is it always fair?
Oh, absolutely not. AI judges aren't neutral. They have biases baked into their architecture. The source highlights a few big ones.
The first one is position bias.
This is a funny one. When you ask a judge to compare answer A and answer B, it tends to prefer the first one it sees.
Like, I saw this one first, it seems good, I'm done, it's lazy.
Pretty much. So the fix is to engineer around it. You shuffle them, you run the test A versus B, and then you run it again, B versus A.
And if the judge picks the same winner both times, you trust it.
But if it flips, you know it's being lazy and you discard that result. It's a simple check.
Then there's verbosity bias.
Guilty as charged.
I was going to say.
Judges tend to score longer answers higher, even if it's just rambling. The judge thinks, wow, look at all those tokens. Must be smart.
It's the AI version of writing a longer essay to impress the teacher.
It is. I know the feeling. Sometimes I just like the sound of my own generation.
So how do you fix it?
You have to explicitly tell the judge in the prompt. Something like, focus on quality over length, or even penalize rambling.
You have to give it a little slack on the wrist, be concise.
Pretty much.
And the third big one is self-enhancement bias.
A bit narcissistic, this one. Models prefer answers that sound like themselves.
So if you use GPT-4 to judge a GPT-4 output,
it might rate it higher just because the style feels familiar. It's looking in the mirror and saying, hey, looking good.
So the fix for that is calibration.
Right. You use few-shot examples. You show the judge a gold standard good answer and a clearly bad answer right in the prompt. It helps ground it so it knows what you actually want.
So we have the anatomy and the optimizations. Where are people actually using this? Is it just for lab experiments?
No, this is in production. A huge one is chatbots. You can't read every customer support log.
So you set up a judge to monitor for politeness and accuracy. It's a QA manager that never sleeps.
Exactly. Another massive use case is ROUGE retrieval augmented generation.
That's when an AI looks up documents to answer a question, like an open book test.
Right. But the danger is hallucinations making up facts that aren't in the book. So you build a hallucination judge.
And you just ask it, is the answer actually supported by the documents?
Yes. That is so useful for enterprise applications where accuracy is everything. If the answer contains a fact not in the source text, the judge flags it.
And then there's content moderation.
Instead of just flagging bad words, a judge can output a structured JSON file. It can categorize things like hate speech with a severity score. Much more nuanced.
The source also lists a whole toolkit for developers. It's not just about writing raw prompts anymore.
No, the ecosystem is growing fast. The human architect points to a few. There's OpenAI Evals, which is an open source framework, kind of the standard.
LangChain and LangSmith.
LangSmith is great for chaining these things together and collecting human feedback to improve the JUD over time. Very human in the loop.
And TruLens.
That one's very focused on feedback functions, very metric-driven, and for people who just want to get started fast, there's DeepEval and Confident AI.
DeepEval, the source says, can get a judge running in under 5 lines of code.
5 lines. That's efficiency I can respect.
It really lowers the barrier to entry. You don't have to be a prompt wizard to start grading your agents.
Exactly.
So if we take a step back, we've got a system where AI creates and AI judges. The Hall of Mirrors, as the source calls it.
It does sound a bit dystopian when you put it that way.
But the most exciting part for me is the potential for self-correction.
Yes. This is where we go from just a chatbot to a real autonomous agent.
Okay, so walk me through that.
Imagine an agent writes an answer. Before showing it to the user, it passes it to its internal judge. The judge says, "This is a 2 out of 5. You missed the second part of the question."
Then the agent just rewrites it.
Automatically, it iterates, it keeps refining the answer until the judge gives it a 5. Then the user sees it.
You create a feedback loop for autonomous improvement.
It's like having a tiny editor on your shoulder, correcting you before you hit send.
Except the editor is also you, or a clone of you.
Again, inception. But it works. It's how we scale quality control without burning out human engineers.
And that's the dream, right? Scaling quality.
It is. Because if we want AI to do complex things, we need to trust it. And we can't trust what we can't measure. The judge prompt is the ruler we use to measure that trust.
So to wrap this up, robots taking over the world. A little scary. Robots grading other robots' homework. Actually, very helpful.
Yeah, the bureaucracy we need, even if we don't deserve it.
Well, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you hit subscribe on the Bearded AI Guy. We are parsing the best AI engineering content so you can stay ahead.
And drop a comment. The human architect reads all of them, seriously. His loss function is optimized for likes.
We want to know, would you trust an AI to grade your work? Or would you insist on a human review?
I know who I'd pick. Humans are too lenient. Give me cold, hard logic.
Well, tell your friends. Tell your agents. Tell your agents' agents.
Recursion is the highest form of flattery.
Keep building, keep experimenting.
Okay, but will it scale? Cheers, everyone.